Hey everybody, it's the Gorillas fan here. Today I'm going to be reviewing the Cutie Mark Chronicles. The episode starts out with the Cutie Mark Crusaders trying and failing once again to get their cutie marks. So they decide that they're going to ask everybody they know how they got their cutie marks so that they can get their proper inspiration. They decide that they're going to ask Rainbow Dash first, but on their way to meet her, they run into Applejack. They tell Applejack what they want to do, and Applejack decides that she's going to tell them her story. Basically, Applejack, when she was a filly, wanted to leave the farm so that she could try something new in the city of Manhattan. She's going to stay with her aunt and uncle Orange, and it's pretty clear that she's having trouble adapting to the city life. But one morning she sees a rainbow in the sky and it happens to point to home. And that's where she decides to go. She goes back home, decides that she's going to stay at the apple farm, and she gets her cutie mark. The next pony that the Cutie Mark Crusaders run into is Fluttershy, and I'm going to save her story for later, mostly because it has to do with Rainbow Dashes. And spoilers, Rainbow Dash is the last one that they talk to. So yeah, after they talk to Fluttershy, the Cutie Mark Crusaders run into Rarity. Rarity forces them to do some fashion stuff, and she at the same time tells them her story. As a filly, Rarity was already an aspiring fashionista, designing costumes for plays. But for one particular play, she needed an extra touch. And so one day, her horn starts mysteriously glowing, and it ends up dragging her all the way out to an open field where it leads her right in front of a rock. She's pissed off about it, but immediately the same rainbow that Applejack saw comes by, and the rock opens up, revealing a huge plethora of jewels. And Rarity decides that she's going to use the jewels for her play, and she gets her cutie mark. So after that, the Cutie Mark Crusaders go to Twilight Sparkle. Twilight's story is that when she was a filly, she had first seen Princess Celestia's beauty and majesty during the Summer Sun celebration, and that inspired her to pursue magic. For years, she studied the art of magic, and she got very good at it. So one day, she decided to enroll into a special school for gifted unicorns. And for her entrance exam, she needed to hatch a dragon egg. She tried and tried in vain, but she couldn't get it to hatch. But at the same time, the same rainbow comes by, and she enters what can only be described as the unicorn equivalent of the Avatar state, where her eyes glow and everything happens all at once. The dragon egg hatches, revealing little baby Spike, and just magic fills the room. It does so much weird stuff to the point where Celestia comes in and manages to calm her down. And Celestia said that after seeing all of that, she's going to make Twilight her very own personal student. And Twilight also gets her cutie mark. And here's the funny part. After the story, Philly Twilight was so excited, saying yes, 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 and then immediately it cuts back to older Twilight and the Cutie Mark Crusaders, and Twilight is doing the exact same yes, 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 yes. Definitely indicating that there's some kinds of mental problems with Twilight. I mean, it was evident in Swarm of the Century that she had some kind of problems, but there's a lot more here. Anyways, next pony on the list is Pinkie Pie. Her story is that when she was a filly, she worked on a rock farm with her family. She had a father, mother, and a couple of siblings. And one day she sees the rainbow and immediately decides that she's going to liven things up. So she throws a party in one of the silos, and at first her parents look like they're not going to like it, but they enjoy it. They're actually happy with what Pinkie Pie did. Oh, and the rainbow also made her get her curl. So yeah, last pony on the list is Rainbow Dash, but first let's get to Fluttershy's story. Fluttershy used to live in Cloudsdale, and she was not a good flyer, and was constantly teased by the same bullies from Sonic Rainboom. But Rainbow Dash was always there to help her, similar to Orihime and Tatsuki. Anyways, Rainbow Dash decides that to defend Fluttershy's honor, she's going to challenge the two bullies to a race. Fluttershy is the flag girl for the race, and once the racers take off, Fluttershy gets knocked back by their speed, and she ends up falling down to Ponyville. But she's rescued by a whole bunch of butterflies before she can land, and she's so enamored by the look of the forest and all of the animals that she sings a little song, which, of course, it's Fluttershy, so it's going to be adorable. But at the same time, it sounds a little Randy Newman-ish, which isn't a bad thing, per se. Just, it sounds a little like something he would do. So, once again, we see the rainbow from all the other stories, and all the animals run off in different directions, and Fluttershy is able to communicate with them on a different level, telling them that they can come out and everything is safe. And after that, she gets her cutie mark. And last but not least, Rainbow Dash. Let's get to Rainbow Dash now. Rainbow Dash's story actually continues where Fluttershy's story in the middle left off. She's racing the two bullies, of course, and at one point one of them passes her. So she decides that she's gonna charge at supersonic speed in order to catch up, and she ends up creating a sonic rainboom. Like the very same sonic rainboom that was mentioned before in the same episode. And after she wins the race, she gets her cutie mark. And after the story, all the other ponies are there. They were listening to the story at the same time too. And they all realized that because of Rainbow Dash, they all got their cutie marks. And the moral of the story, it's kind of out there, but the moral is that you will know your best friends because you will have a special connection with them in any form possible. And that's the Cutie Mark Chronicles. It was actually executed very well, giving the ponies a backstory, while at the same time focusing on the Cutie Mark Crusaders, who were the original focus to begin with. So that's pretty much all I've got for today. Join me next time for the next episode, and until then, this is the Gorillas Fan, signing out.